Hello, a lot of you have asked me to post more kaleidoscope game tutorials. Not just, for simple stuff and beads, but many seem to have liked a lot my cabinet knobs tutorials, and they asked me to do more kaleidoscope games for that. I did one on Facebook, if I'm not mistaken, but here it is. I'm going to show you a few more. And in this specific one, I'm going to show you how you can create a kaleidoscope cane from scrap clay. For this, you will need for a while to pretty much separate your scrap clay. That is what I do, unless I have all my scraps are of too many different colors. I kind of try to separate it with, like more reds on one side and greens on one side and yellows and so on and so forth. So, let's go ahead and do a kaleidoscope cane. Of course, we will add some regular clay to give it a little bit more oomph, but let's do a kaleidoscope cane using scrap clay. So let's see. First of all, I got me some black to have it on hand, and I also have this white that has been contaminated, but it should do just fine for Skinner blend. Now let's see what else do I have here. I try to choose of my scraps something that would pretty much go well together. So here I have some reds. Let's see exactly what colors they are. So that's a maroon, pretty much. And then this one has some mica in it. So it's probably made with either the sunset pearl or the magenta pearl. And so is this one, it has mica in it. So I guess it's going to be a kaleidoscope with a lot of pearlescent. But anyway, as I said, as long as you pretty much separate your clay, when you put it aside, you should be able to get various hues of red. And if you don't have the clay separated, then you can still make some of these colors. Now, let's see, I will want to have these in a little bit of a Skinner blend, obviously. So let me first pull them all through, but first let me look to the other colors, because I'm going to pull them all through the pasta machine, as you know, all on the same setting. Then what else do I want to get? I know that I have this other one that looks very dark, and I presume it's something that's got black in it, but probably has some metallic as well. Actually, no, it doesn't. It's just something that's very black, which I might use instead of the plain black. This is definitely a metallic, because I can see the mica shift. Hey, it's something that has glitters and all kinds of stuff. It looks a little bit like ancient gold, so that should be okay. And this one is also some black with metallic in it, so that should be okay too. And then I have two smallish things here, darker green, and here I think it was one of my experiments with white and mica. So let's see, what am I going to do with these? Let me first put them all through the pasta machine on the same thickest setting. So let's see, how do I want to combine these? Number one, I want these reds. I want to make a Skinner blend with them. Now if I combine these two, I will not have enough contrast. If I combine this one with this one, then I will get some contrast, and that will allow me to get these two on contrast. But just to be on the safe side, I am going to add a little bit of white here. And then I'm going to add a little bit of dark on these ends. So let me create my skinner blendy things. I'm going to actually get 2 out of these. There we go. Let's put this aside for now. Then I'm going to get 2 out of these. Let's put it aside. And then I'm going to add white and a... Now, do I want this or do I want this? I think I'm going to choose the darker one. So there we go. Now let's create it as a actual skinner blend. Even if I could do, I know, come on, a lot of you tell me that they love my, let's do it that way. They love my little wonky skinner blendy thing. So let's do it that way. So we have 1, we have 2, let's bring them almost to the middle, and then I am going to cut this in 2 and stack it, and this is going to go here. Now when it comes to the idea that I've been telling you so many times, if you want to make a successful cane, make sure that you don't use different brands in the same cane. But I have also told you, if you want to bring everything to the same level of moving, then mix some translucent Premo in all your colors. While here, it is true I do have different brands of it, but I have put everything, like in the reds you can find Premo, you can find Fimo, you can find Pardo. So it will all be mixed together, so they are pretty much brought to the same level, which should ensure that I don't have any issues mixing it. So this is 1 skinner blend. Now let's do the second skinner blend. And again, I will be taking, this time I only have 1 here, so that's what I will be taking. And then I will make some more with what other stuff I have. So obviously I will take only 1 of this as well. And then white, which is almost 1, and black. And on this one we can go straight again. So place them on a diagonal, lozenge if you want. I am going to stack these, place them here, stack this, place it here, then make sure that they are all stuck together, and then cut in the middle here and bring 1 over here to create a nice rectangular skinner blend mix. The other way. Okay, now what am I going to do with these? Because these look very interesting. And yeah, I noticed that I had a bluish, grayish thing. So let's try and do something with this. But what I'm going to do actually is, if I do this, it should be fine. And I'm going to keep this for something else. Let's see what we got for now. Actually, I'm going to actually combine these two. What about this? This looks awesome, because they both have a little bit of metallic-y stuff, so they should be just fine. So if you would want to go making this from scratch, let me look and I will tell you exactly what colors you can use. But let me prepare these first, and then I will tell you what colors you can use. So let me get this, this, and this together. Oops. And then cut them in two, place them together, cut the ends, tuck them in. Now let's talk about what colors you can use if you start from scratch. For this one, this would be obviously black, but you can put like, I think, 4 parts of black to 1 part of white to get this. And you can use that to get a little bit of the metallic-y part. You can actually do half a square of black, a quarter of granite pearl, and a quarter of white to get this. Now on this one, get some magenta pearl and mix it with brown at 2 parts magenta pearl, 1 part brown. This is practically the sunset pearl mixed with, gosh, a pinch of white and a pinch of black. And obviously this is white. Same thing for here, for the black. This one would be alizarin crimson mixed with brown, burnt umber. This is a magenta pearl that's been slightly reddened, so if you put a little bit, just a little bit, because it's very strong, of cadmium red or pomegranate, you should get this. This is obviously some graphic pearl, and you can mix it with ancient gold, antique gold, but put like 3 parts antique gold and 1 part of, actually no, get a square, get 3 squares of antique gold, and the 4th square mix jungle and black, and you should get this. And on this one, this is obviously about 3 parts white with ultramarine, and you can throw in a dash of black. This is white, and this is a jungle with a dash of green. And you should be able to get all these. Now, let me do my Skinner blends. So, let's see where I am for now. And I am going to roll this in a round jelly roll. You know, so obviously I will put it through the pasta machine like this, and then start rolling it, keeping the white in the center. I will do this into a fan fold. So I will be putting it through the pasta machine like this, and then fold it like a fan. Now, there's a few more things that I'm going to do. I have this other one, which looks a little bit redundant, but they are not exactly the same colors. But on this one and on this one, I will do a specific thing. And that is, I am going to actually cut my whole Skinner blend into 4 sections. And then I will be mixing each of these sections to get a color, and I will show you what I'm going to do with that color. And I will be doing the exact same thing with this one. The other thing that I'm going to do is to mix my little leftovers of these two on the pink part, and then get this through the pasta machine, what's left over from this, to get them to the same conditioning. I did not worry about conditioning these because as they go through the Skinner blend making, they get conditioned, but these, they need to be conditioned. So next step, let's go. Okay, so at this point I have everything done, but my problem is that I don't think that this green will look good enough. So I'll put this aside, I'll store it in a plug, and then I will make me a new Skinner blend. Let me put the mixes all the way to the side, and we'll get them back to them here in a minute. But what I'm going to do is I want a more bright theme. I have some cadmium yellow here, so I am going to grab 1 square of cadmium yellow, 1 square of this alizarin crimsony thing, and 1 square of the burgundy thing. And then at one end I'm going to actually grab some of this darker black, and I shall make, if I cut it properly, I shall make a new Skinner blend out of these. So there we go. And once this is done, and I'm going to jelly roll it, actually, of course, with the, no, not jelly roll it, fan fold it, like I did the, sorry, like I did the green thing. That's not working right. I'm going to fan fold it, and we'll go from there. So let me do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I am pretty much done. Now let's see what we are going to do with all these mixes. First, the one that's got the metallic-y looking stuff, I'm going to try and pretty much bring them to the same. These were through the pasta machine on the thickest setting. So I am going to stack them one on top of the other, and you can see I'm pretty much what will happen with metallic-y mica containing clays is the fact that we will get some mica shift when we cut the slice, and I am actually counting on that because it's going to add an extra dimension to the cane. So once I have all of this nicely done, let me bring them all under one rectangular thickness, nice and even shape. And now we are going to do, cut them in 4, cut this in 4. And then take, actually let's cut this in 8, because it would look even better in 8. And take every other piece and turn it upside down. Go and reformat our little rectangle. That's going to look like this now. Quite cute, isn't it? And then let's simply consolidate it a little bit. because we want to repeat the pattern just for a pinch. So you see how I got it like this. Now, actually I'm going to leave it for now like this. Let's do the other mix. And we will do pretty much the same thing. So, again, let's cut it. And this time I'm only going to cut it in 4. And the same thing. And turn upside down every other piece. And then consolidate it. Cause see how I got this? No. And because it is done like this, see how it has almost like a line running through? It's less what should I call it, less subtle than the metallic one, but it will still be just fine. Only that this one, yes, we are going to reduce it quite a bit. And then we are going to actually stack it in a specific way. There we go. So, cut in 4. And stack it like a checkerboard. There we go. Now, with the pink and black that we have here, I'm going to actually pinstripe them, and it helps when you cut with the proper edge of the blade. So let's pinstripe it nicely. Because I will need a line out of it. Of course, it's not the same thickness. So let's bring it to the same thickness. And then I'm going to cut it in half. And stack it one more to form a pinstripe line. And there we go. Now we are pretty much ready to start building our cane. And again, I will be using some of the plain colors as well, but make sure that I am conditioning them right, okay? So let's start. I'm now going to do a full screen with just my working table. Okay, so I am ready. I have all my elements here, and I'm going to work with them. I have whatever's left run through like the 4th thinnest setting, so let's see how that's going to work. First, I'm going to cut this in 2. And I am going to slightly shape it into a pretty much more lozenge-ish shape. And this is where I'm going to actually start my my cane. So yeah, for to start with, I am practically squaring it off, making it into a square first. And remember, this is scraps, so we don't really care much about how much we lose, but we'll still try to keep it at a fairly reduced level of loss. Now, in order to lozengify it, I'm going to, this will be against the table. I'm going to place my acrylic on top, and then I'm going to make this move pretty much. And the same, see, you can actually do it with your hands if your hands work properly, because what we are trying to do is to make it more into a lozenge than into a square. And remember, you kind of need to pull on the edges because they will have the tendency to stay behind. Okay, now we did this. Then I'm going to actually cut this in 2, and I am going to flatten this a bit. And then I will take it and I will mirror it. So let me see which part this should be work the best. And see how it has a little, because of the fan folding, it will have little striations on it, which further enhance the look I'm going for. So what I'm going to do now is to flatten it some more, but I want to elongate it this way, pretty much, for the time being. And then I'm going to gently bring the ends up. On both sides. And then make sure that it stays nice and flat. And then I can start reducing it a bit. Can you reduce it before pinching the ends? Yeah, sure, but it's up to you. If I don't have issues reducing this shape, but if you do, then you want to reduce your initial cane a little bit more than it is. Now for the second element, we are going to make out of the yellow Skinner blend. I'm going to again reduce this some, but I want to elongate it on one of the sides, so and this one we are going to do a different thing with it, and that is, number one, I'm going to bring the tops of the light color down just by simply pressing against the table, and I will do the same with this other one. So this is practically almost an adapted feather slash barb cane if you want, because what I'm going to do next is to pull the darker edges towards the top, the same as you do in a barbed cane. And yes, you can go ahead and also bring it like this a little bit. And remember, it will want to stay behind, don't let it. But what we want is to bring the black on the sides and feather it up a little bit. Now remember, this is supposed to be for cabinet knobs, so we want a look that would be kind of antique-y, but still give a lot of how would you call it, craftsman, you know, something that was created special for that specific cabinet slash vanity slash curtain rod, and whatever you want to use it for. Now I'm going to extend it because I'm going to use these at one point almost like petals. So my original height will be this. Make sure that I have everything ready. Now what are we going to do with this one? With this one we are going to triangularize it. So I'm going to do this by pressing on the sides. And don't let it lift up on you. The thing is that you don't want the edges to come over, so you need to press all along the sides of the square. See, you want to avoid these edges coming over and getting pinched. You simply want them to get squeezed to a point, not just the edges part. So press down a little bit while pinching at the same time, and then do the same for the other two. And remember, pull on the edges because otherwise they will be left behind. And yeah, I will I'll show you a little surprise with this specific one. Do I like it? Yes, I do. It looks exactly like what I wanted. Now, let's start putting stuff together. Yeah, I still have this, I know. And we shall use them here in a second. Let me cut it in half. And gently flatten some of this. Just a little bit. Okay, so we are going to start with my lozenge. I'm going to start with my lozenge thing. And I will be using a little bit of a wrap. Let me cut another, just to have it ready. And I will cut myself a piece of the red as well, the most reddish red. Let's wrap it in a reddish one. I elongated this a little bit. It might need a little bit more. Let's put the pink on the black and then end with black here and trim the excess. Now let's add it some of this, and as I said, for the moment I left it the way it was, but I am going to actually reduce it some. Because this is going to be the mica shift layer. Okay, until I have enough to go on 2 levels. So yeah, this should go here, but it will need one small adaptation, and that is flattening it on one end. I will keep the line here and just bringing down over here. can give it more substance with these two. And obviously this one is not, these are not long enough. You just need a little bit more elongation. And this should work fine. This is too long now. Okay, so I'm going to place this here because we'll have a whole lot of checkerboard game of lines, and when it gets smaller it will look pretty much like dots almost. But see how it is a little bit offset on that side, so I am going to place one of these here going over, and then I'm going to place this other one here going a little bit over like this. And always check the back as well as the front. Now let's give it some more passion here. Now it needs a line of color that would be a little bit more. No, that doesn't work. Let's try some red. Because we need a line of delimitation here. So let me put the red and the black. And then one more red. And now I guess we can place this. Oh, and this look better. No, definitely this. No, this should work here. Not, it should work here then. That should work. I don't think I want another line of this. And I will be bringing this down like this. And this over like this. And when I make my triangle, I am going to make the tip here on the lozenge. Now let me stop and record this so I can speed it up with the whole reducing. I'm at the point where I can start cutting and putting together something. Just removing the, yeah, this should make some very pretty beads. So let's grab a piece of this and reducing some so we can make a kaleidoscope out of it. So again, I'm going to mute it so I can fast forward. So I reduced it. Of course, I use my square pairs, which I always recommend. Now let's get them together. And actually, let me get the camera to make sure that it's good, well focused. All right. So remember, I always put together 2 and 2, and then I will put the other 2 together. Now make sure that they are well together. Now we are simply going to roundify it, because if we squarify, that means that we roundify, right? Yes, you can roundify a 4 radial square kaleidoscope. Okay, now let's put this aside, and I'm going to actually put it in the freezer for a little bit after I do this other thing, and focus on doing another combination. And again, I will go on speed up. So what I'm going to do right now is to actually put this in the freezer, then cut some slices and put them on something to bake, so that I can afterwards sand and buff them so you can see how they would look on an actual cabinet knob. Let's bring it up another notch. These are about, I don't know, $1.20 at my local Lowe's. They are metal. You'll absolutely need metal, and of course you might need a different you know, because some of them they have 2 light switches, some of them they have a light switch and an outlet. So, but again, I'm not going to talk during all this. I'm going to simply do it. Let's see how it comes up, because we can make matching stuff, right? Let's go. see how these should look like. And actually, let me get this a little bit better focus. Just a second. There we go. And this one I didn't really reduce it properly because it was too warm. I should have let it sit for a while, but still it's pretty. And the second one, so this is how they would look on the cabinet knobs once they are applied. And of course, then whatever you choose to make on the side as a bezel of sorts. I would honestly combine this with a silverish look. And let's see the light switch. I probably should do a little bit more sanding in this specific area, but my hands are killing me, so for now it should be good. And as you can see, it makes for a, let me refocus again. Oh, come on. Okay, so this is how it should look as a light switch. And you can see it's really, really pretty. And you can do, if you're in a bathroom or something, you can even do the shower curtain hooks all in tone and everything. So yeah, remember I told you that watch out for that mica shift effect. You can see how pretty effects it gives, kind of mother of pearlish. So yeah, this is it. There we go. And what can I say? Happy clean and have fun making your light switch and your cabinet knobs.